What is happening, Cigars Daily Nation? Today, I'm gonna make good on a promise I made like a year ago when I first got my KingChii super duper, I don't even remember, 480 liter, whatever, humidor thing. I got this, I've had it in my house now for a very long time, and I promised to follow up, and you guys have asked me about it, and so I'm here to bring that to you now. I'm going to give you my post review of the humidor and show you how I keep this organized in my home. But just to give you an idea, it's here in front of my television. On the other side of the television, by the way, something I very nerdily talk about. This is my collection of dinosaur fossils. These are all dinosaur teeth, and there's a whole dinosaur skeleton right there. You know what? I can even open this for you guys. That right there, that's part of a stegosaurus right there. That's part of an Allosaurus. That right down there, that's woolly mammoth tooth. But of course, that's not why you came. You came to see this, the KingChii. All around, I'm happy with the KingChii. I know a couple of other people who've gotten them, and the consensus that I've gotten is the functionality is there. Like the thing does what I want it to do, minus a couple little things that sometimes make me almost want to stab my eyes out. Number one, the hygrometer on this thing. I set this to 66 degrees, but it does not seem to function like a hygrometer should function. It just says 66 degrees all the time. In fact, I actually put a digital hygrometer inside that reads a humidity that variates more, significantly more than this does. Now, that being said, I noticed the other day that this read 63%, and I went and looked, and it had just run out of water down below. And so, but for all intents and purposes, this is not a hygrometer. It's a display of what my humidity is sent to. Now, again, that's a little thing, but actually a really big thing. A unit of this size that costs as much as this unit costs should have a built-in hygrometer. The hygrometer should sing the humidity to you. Like, that's how this should work. It shouldn't be like this. So that's frustrating. I had to add my own hygrometer, which in a large unit is dumb. This is the last thing that for me is just absolutely bonkers crazy, makes me nuts. The lights on this do not have any programmable settings. I can turn the lights on and off like that. And that makes me crazy because the last thing I want to do is come over here and turn on the lights to my humidor. I'll show you what a geek I am. On my fossil case over here, the lights are set to turn on and off at a certain time during the day because I am a nerd. It's why all of those fossils have QR codes next to them, because I'm a giant nerd. I'm only not a virgin because I'm married. But here I've got this thing with these lights, and they come on right before I get home from work. The lights turn off right after I go to bed. They turn on at some point in the morning, which doesn't really make sense because I'm never here in the morning. But beside the point, I can program the lights to go on and off. The last thing I want is my lights on 24/7 inside my humidor, and that's absolutely what I get inside of this bad boy right here. So those are a few things that for me are good and just absolutely make me crazy even still. But here's what I keep inside of this. Now, I have, between the HQ and here at my house, like 8 or 9 personal humidors that hold a total of about 200 to 250,000 cigars-ish, and that number varies quite a bit. But I have to tell you, this humidor right here is probably the most special to me. This is the one that I spend the most time thinking about what's going to go in it, and truthfully keep my most prized cigars here. So here's how I arrange it. Here's how I set it up. And for people looking for tips, this is sort of how it's laid out. So let's kick it off with the top shelf here. Of course, I've got a couple of Steve Saka unicorns in here for a special occasion. I don't even know what special occasion that could ever be. I've showed these off a couple of times before, but this right here is a Cuban Davidoff. This is a Davidoff #1 Lancero, a gift from the inventor of the Choco Taco, if you would believe it. I've got 2 of these in here, and he was so kind as to send me 2 more after sending me the initial 2. At some point, I might even make like little coffins for those. Those are unbelievably special. These, again, very old cigars and have changed my view on aging cigars tremendously. Like, this cigar reshaped my view of cigars. I got the Plasencia Omotepe up in here, and really the top shelf stuff in this humidor is all my most top shelf stuff. Like, this is all the stuff that's the most special to me. Here is my $100,000 cigar, which I put a video out on my vlog channel about this and how I acquired it, where it's from, and why I will never ever smoke it ever, 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 ever. This is a cigar that I rolled at Plasencia when I was there in 2019, which would mean that this has got about 5 years of age, almost 6 years of age on it now. That's when I saved. And I rolled these for, like, Allison and my 10-year anniversary. We smoked them on our 10-year anniversary, which was almost 4 years ago now. And she did not like it. She did not like the cigar that I rolled at Plasencia at all. And I'll admit, it was okay. It wasn't very good. All right, I got old school Foundation Matapas. They're not that old school, but kinda. Also Menilix as well. These are all out of production cigars right here. Not really made anymore. And then a couple of other special things. This is just to remind me that the Diesel Atonement Daily Edition, I've got 6 of them left. That's all I got. That's all there is. I got the book right here. The book is empty. There's nothing in it. So I'm stuck with those 6. So that's going to be 6 moderately special occasions for me. I'm not going to have to like, this isn't like you had a baby. This is like Allison and I had a pregnancy scare and discovered she's not pregnant. I would light up one of these. This is like a pretty okay special occasion. All right. And so I'll be smoking those and leaving space for something else. Now, coming down to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th shelf on this thing, I've got predominantly stuff that I like. And for me, because this is such an important humidor, projects that I've gotten to work on are very special here for me. So up front, I've got Flat Earth along with Earth. I've also done this bit where I've got Toros and Robustos set together, sort of aligned in such a way that they're fanned out at you. Along Flat Earth and then Earth, I've got Dama Veladas in here. Of course, a couple of Rico Baratos, just in case I ever need one. And then Liga Zebras as well, along with boxes. And I'll tell you this, I kind of feel like a jerk because somebody asked on Cigars Daily Live the other week, they said, do you store boxes higher up in the humidor or do you store them down lower? And I said that I store them down low. I gave a rationale for why that makes the most sense for me. And then I came home and I looked in here and I was like, oh, I do keep them near the top too. So I keep boxes in my humidor wherever I want to. And the ones on the top here, this is Daily Edition Aganorsa stuff. So this is La Validacion with my special Daily Edition seal on it. I also happen to have a box of EP Carrillo Pledge of Allegiance. And it looks like I've got more than enough for this 4th of July. So I can look very much forward to that. Now, scattered throughout this thing, you'll just see little stuff that I think is really well done. Like, this is the Monte Cristo 1935 anniversary. I find this to just be a perfectly pleasing blend later in the day because of the balance of flavors and like complexity that this cigar offers and strength. Like, this is a cigar that has boldness and strength, a little bit of spice, but isn't overwhelming. And so this is a cigar that I keep in here, especially on a night, because most of my smoking here at home is done at night. So if I'm going to smoke something in the evening and I want something kind of bold, also Espinosa's Murcielago is another one of those, like, super leathery, chocolatey, sort of spicy cigars. And this one's actually a special figurado size as well. The next shelf down, my 3rd shelf, is probably my most premier shelf. I've got some of the Daily Edition Aganorsos laid out, but I've got the Desert Walker and I've got the Filthy Viking. These two, for me, as projects, are like the babies. I get this question a lot of the time for cigar makers. They're like, which project have you done that's your favorite? And they're always like, oh, the projects, they're on my children and I love them so much. And here's the truth. I have done a lot of these projects. They have all been a tremendous amount of highly rewarding work for me, and all things of which I'm very proud. The Filthy Viking and the Desert Walker are the two that for me stand out from the rest of the herd. They straight up do the cigars that give me like this level of excitement and fulfillment that I rarely have experienced outside of that. And they're two like totally different blends from each other. And so those two cigars right there, to me, they get this sort of prominent premier space in the humidor. And then again in the back, there's just some stuff like Espinosa's La Raña Escuro. There's some Perdomo back here, along with some Master Blend. Master Blends is like a good sitting by the campfire nighttime cigar. Now, as we get lower, you're going to see more boxes here, and boxes of stuff that went away a long time ago. But up front here is La Fermentada from Oliva, even some without cellophanes here. They're just kind of like sitting here rocking like naked cigars. That's pretty all right. You'll know this if you have a large cigar collection. Getting all the bands to face upward can be a bit of a struggle, a bit of a trial. Now, here's the secret with these. Underneath these are some cigars that I will covet forever. These are 3 Boxer Grails. These are 3 Diesel Mizunaras. I know they're there. Now you know they're there. We will know together, but nobody who comes over to my house to enjoy a cigar with me will ever know that they're there, along with some Foundation Wise Man, both the Corojo and Maduro. This was the first daily edition thing we ever did. Was last year we did an exclusive thing with the Attic series. And so I've still got 7 of those that are now aged almost an entire year. Let me close that box. This was the first daily edition ever, and this will actually give me a chance to see what 1 year of age on these is like, and actually might even have content of what aging does to that blend and how much it changes it, because that was such a bold blend. Aging something like that can really take it to another place, to another level of smoothness and refinement. So kind of intrigued to see what that's like. And then of all of the space in all of the humidor, up and down, what I believe is like 6 or 7 different shelves. This is Allison's spot right here. This is her spot. It's here, and it's here, and it's there. This is for the wrench. This is what the wrench gets. All of her cigars go right here. They're safe there. I made sure to bring her 5 Stillwell Star Holiday Y24s, especially because she asked on the live. Of course, I wouldn't be caught dead not having brought them home in front of all of you. And then down here, the Oscar Maduro, which she's got this one looks like it's totally cracked and busted up. But these are a cigar that she really, I think, adores a lot. She's told me before how much she likes this cigar. There's a lot of onesie twosies in here of stuff that like an El Rey, King of the World, Southern Draw Manzanita, Oscar 2012, Eigenlorsa Leaf La Validacion. This is a limited edition size of the Serie V, a Diadema size, which is a bit of a figurado. A lot of stuff that you've seen me talk about on the channel, and some stuff that you've never heard me talk about before at all. But stuff that like really intrigues me. I kind of want to onesie twosie have a one-off here. And then this one. This one. There aren't a lot of cigars that have survived since my very early days in the cigar industry, but this bundle is one of them. And I might have shown it to you before, but I'm going to try to zoom in on this. This is a brand that doesn't exist anymore. Let me see if I can turn this around. Listen, this is for educational purposes only. This whole video, in fact, is only for educational purposes. And so when I show you this label, it says, warning, anti-smoking legislation may be dangerous for your freedom. That's some stuff that you used to be able to do on cigars without getting in a lot of trouble. Today, I think this would probably get a person in a profound amount of trouble. But these are long filler cigars called Fair Exchange. This used to be a Cuban brand that got snatched up by the first cigar company I ever worked for. And I used to get, this was the first ordering I ever did from a factory, was cigars just like this. Naked bundles that had stickers on the front of them. And I'd get them from the Dominican Republic or from Nicaragua. And they were very special cigars. But yeah, I've always held on to a bundle of these because they remind me of first mistakes, the first successes I ever had in the industry. And of course, coming down here, I've got what's last but most certainly not least, box pressed Rebellions, Obrigados, and more one-off onesies and twosies stuff. I really got into these CAO, Fasa, and Sol for a while. These cigars are better than I thought they were going to be. And so I was like, yeah, those should definitely have a space in my humidor. And then even below that, I've got some boxes down here at the bottom. I really do keep boxes at the bottom of my humidor. Toscano gave me this one. This is where you'll really see me showcasing that I do love that diesel vintage Maduro. I keep a box of this like super Corona Gordas in here because it's like a 2-hour smoke. And if I'm going to smoke this one, I want it to be a 2-hour long cigar because it's that impressive to me. There's even stuff in the bottom here like factory samples that go all the way back to 2019. Like stuff that never actually got released. Really, really old stuff. A lot of what is in this humidor is just special to me. I mean, these are the cigars that for me carry all the memories and like remind me of the whole story of cigars that I've gotten to go through. Now, I do smoke out of this pretty regularly. In fact, tonight, just today, actually, I hung a new television on the patio here. And so the plan is to come out here, use the hot tub, watch something on TV, and then when I'm good and done with that, come out here, set up a fire in the fire pit, and sit out there and have probably a cigar. I'll probably have a cigar in the spot and a cigar out here. And there you have it, my follow-up on the KingChii cabinet humidor. I'll tell you this, for people who want to know like what's my summation of it after using it for a long time, I do like the humidor. I would get it again. I would probably call KingChii and say, gosh, do you have one that comes with a hygrometer and one that I can like set up and program the lights to turn on and off at certain times of the day? But neither of those for me are tremendous deal breakers. Like a $20 hygrometer and the thing does control the humidity correctly. Outside of all of that, the thing does a ton of stuff that I love. It manages temperature, it manages humidity well. It's got plenty of space. It's lit up nice and bright when I turn it on, and the thing works all day and all night for me to keep my most precious cigars in the best shape. And I'm curious, what's the best setup for a humidor in your mind? Drop a comment down below. For me, I kind of set my humidor up so there's an array on the front near the glass of the cigars that are sort of the most important and most special to me. But how do you do it? Your humidor's probably a different size and shape even than mine is. I'd be curious to hear more from you about that. And I am off to an evening of relaxation here. I've got probably a couple other videos I've promised you guys, but do check this one out on the community on Cigars Daily Plus, where it'll have even more in it. And by the way, check this video out on Rumble. We're going to be putting more content on Rumble as well, and even working to bring you guys episodes of Cigars Daily Live there as well. So thank you guys so much for checking in with us here. This is Tim signing off for Cigars Daily, and I will see you in the comments.